From Mamamia, welcome to The Spill, your daily pop culture fix. I'm Laura Brodnick.
And I'm Ksenia Lukic.
And because it is Friday, our favourite day of the week where we love to deep dive into movies and TV shows, today we're going to be having a bit of a tragic turn with some love stories.
And we're going to lean into our sadness and into having a good cry.
Yes. Well, yes, hopefully there'll be many tears in this episode because we are talking about the most tragic love stories that have been committed to film. And not just tragic love stories that ended in death and or sickness. And while that might sound like a bit of a downer, this is like a common trope in romance stories and love stories that have been, shaping Hollywood for decades, because there's nothing more beautiful than watching two hot people fall in love and then watching one of them die tragically to make you feel alive.
I think it's also just like sometimes you need a really good cry.
Yes.
And I'm just pre-warning everyone, I'm a little bit PMSy, so there might be some tears that I can't stop.
All right. Well, in that case, head over to our vodcast channel. Watch us on YouTube to see Ksenia cry.
This is the perfect episode for me today.
So the reason we're talking about this, I didn't just pick this topic out of the air to make you cry,
just
make
to
our
torture
listeners
me.
cry. Yeah, I just love to talk about death and illness and romance and all in one go. No, it's off the back of the fact this new movie has premiered a few weeks ago, and so many people are talking about it, so many people are watching it, and it's called The Map That Leads to You, that came out recently on Prime Video.
These kinds of movies, I feel like aren't as common these days. And I think like Gen Z now are really discovering that type of tearjerker romance, the tragic love story, your Romeo and Juliet for the modern age. It's like it was really, really popular in like the 2010s. So we kind of picked some of our favorites. And while I was doing the research for this, honestly, like could barely keep my
well, we went
together.
through a time where if you went to the movies to watch a romance and it didn't end tragically with one of the couple dying, you were like, what am I spending my money for? Like, that's what you went to the movies to see. So I think maybe we don't do it now as much because we went too hard and too fast for a few years with the sicklet stories.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's all that sort of, it's the Greek tragedy, it's versus the Greek comedy. It's actually very historic and important. So I'm going to go first with my favourite one.
Yes.
So this one is called P.S. I Love You from 2007, and it stars Hilary Swank as Holly and Gerard Butler as Jerry. Jerry and Holly are married. They're, really, really happy. But within the first 10 minutes, bang, we're at a funeral and Jerry is dead.
Yeah.
It really, like, this
R.I.P.
is not
Jerry.
This is not like a slow lead up. This is a straight away, oh my God, what has happened? Now, Jerry is Irish. Jerry and Holly fell in love really young and they're married now and sort of trying to figure out the next stage of their lives. Are they going to buy a house? Are they going to have children? And after Jerry dies, he dies of a brain tumor. Obviously, Holly is distraught. And she, all of a sudden, a few months later, is like severely depressed, like dancing around her apartment, sort of just drinking and smelling and, just in that real state of grief. And her friends and her mum come over and they share this little clip that Jerry has saved for her. Honestly, I don't know how I'm going to get through this episode. And he basically starts to write her a series of letters that get seeded out through the course of, I think, a year. And each of these letters ends with P.S. I love you.
Yeah.
And it's his way of trying to help Holly get over the grief. Now, the reason why this movie is so great is, one, Irish men and Irish accents. Now, Gerard Butler did get a little bit of flack for his not so great Irish accent, but
he tried
because he's Scottish. But I mean, I didn't notice. And also this particular time, so 2007 was right when I finished high school, and my English teacher was Irish, and I had a massive crush on him.
Oh, here's a saucy story.
Obviously,
So you watched this movie
around the time of my big Irish crush on my teacher.
Were you looking at Gerard Butler on screen and picturing your teacher?
No, the
role?
accent was so ingrained in my brain that I just think it really hit me in a really different place. And so she goes to Ireland. She meets another hot Irish guy played by Jeffrey Dean Williams. And if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, you will know him.
Yes. I'm intimately acquainted with this man. Don't worry about that.
He's also a beautiful – what's his name in Walking Dead again?
Negan.
That's right. Yeah, Negan.
But also a lot of people would know him as Denny from Grey's Anatomy.
Yes.
Or as the dad from Supernatural.
Oh, Denny is the perfect.
He's okay, so he knows how to make the ladies cry.
Yeah, so I mean they have this kind of fling and it's really sweet. I think the reason why this hits hard so much is this like kind of getting messages from people you've lost beyond the grave. And the idea that, you know, he's like trying to help her get through this. I think the biggest tearjerker moment for me in this movie is when, like, right at the end, it's sort of towards the year mark, she runs to her mother, who's played by Kathy Bates, and she hugs him and she's sobbing. And it's like one of those moments where you just need your mum. She's sobbing and sobbing. She's like, I can't do this without him. Here we go. It's starting. And, you know, Kathy Bates is like just trying to comfort her daughter. And at the end of it, it's not like she finds another love, but it's like she's finally starting to deal with her grief. But Gerard Butler is so charming, and he's, you know, there's the jolly Irish guy that's funny, and he's, you know, plays the guitar and he's sexy, and Holly is a little bit more uptight. So it kind of is this really nice balance, and I really loved it.
What I think is interesting at that movie, it was such a departure to have those actors in those roles, which I remember going to see at the movies when it came out and just thinking it was so wild. Like, Hilary Swank is not a romance actress. Like, she's great in this movie, but she's not a romance actress. Also, this is more of a romantic drama than a romantic comedy. But again, like, she only ever kind of dips her toe in romantic comedies because at that time she was known as like the kind of the best dramatic actress in the world, and she's a double Oscar winner. And so she was doing all these, like, you know, those really gritty, hardcore films, and like she's a serious actress. And I feel like at the time so many people was like, why is she doing this stupid, like, kind of smaltzy, overly sugary kind of death trope rom-com? But I think like when her and Gerard Butler, they still get asked for that movie all the time, of course, because it's iconic, and they both talk about the fact that they knew it was going to be this movie that people talked about for decades, and it would be this special story. And even Gerard Butler, because he's not always happy to be interviewed. He's an angry man sometimes, but I've noticed he rarely gets angry when interviewers ask him about this movie, and I think he knows that like it's sacred ground for people and not to say anything bad about it.
I think as well, it's just that notion of grief and like having someone that you love still be able to reach out to you and communicate with you even when they're not there. And I think particularly if there's like long illnesses and stuff, people can have the opportunity to do things like that. But yeah, it's a real tearjerker, that one. And like from the start, you don't build to it. It's like within 10 minutes you are crying.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Laura, what is yours?
Okay, I'm going to throw it all the way back to 1970.
Oh.
When the first love trope death movie, well, the first one that I can trace the origin, premiered, and it's still one of the most talked about romantic dramas of all time to this day. Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. You were just like staring at me with your mouth open.
I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Okay, it's called Love Story.
I haven't seen this.
That is how not basic. That is how kind of like at the forefront of this trope this movie is. They didn't even have to get clever with the title or the premise or anything like that. They're like, we're the first ones to do this, so we can call ourselves Love Story because no one's ever done it. So it was based on a book. It came out in 1970. It's a romantic drama, and it tells the story of this girl called Jennifer and this guy called Oliver. And so Oliver comes from a very, very rich, prestigious family, and he's going to Harvard, and he only kind of mixes with other rich boys and women from society where he comes from. And during his college years, he meets Jenny, who's from a more working class family. It's just her and her dad trying to make their way in the world. She's kind of very blue collar working class. Like, you could call them like a modern day kind of Romeo and Juliet. Like, their families not getting along.
I love this because back then this wouldn't have been a trope yet.
Yes,
like, you know, when tropes weren't tropes, it was like brand spanking new.
Exactly. That's what I mean. You could call it Love Story and say the trope is they come from different families. That's the plot and no further questions.
Different worlds.
And it was, again, this is like such an iconic movie. People still quote it to this day. But they come from different places. They sort of start to fall in love. And once they fall in love, they fall for each other so hard. But you do watch their love story evolve over time and all the things they have to overcome. There's one stage where Oliver takes Jenny to meet his family and they basically just say she's trash and she needs to get out of the house. And if he decides to marry her, because at that stage they're like, we're getting married, we're so in love, then they'll cut him off from the family fortune, which they do. And so they end up getting married and things are really lovely. Also, this idea about storylines being recycled. Like once you look back at old movies from the 70s and stuff, you're like literally nothing is new, because at this point in time, everyone I know is having this huge debate over Belly from The Summer I Turned Pretty. Like she should go to Paris and the girls never go to Paris. And it's this whole thing.
The girls never go to Paris?
Yeah.
I can name off the top of my head like 4 girls that go to Paris.
Exactly. Joey from Dawson's Creek and also Lauren
Carrie.
Carrie from Sex and the City. Well, she goes to Paris and has a bad time, so maybe that's not the same thing. Lauren Conrad from The Hills. I know that was fake, but it was still. There's this whole trope of girls getting this opportunity to go to Paris and never going. And that happens in Love Story. Jenny gets a scholarship to go to Paris when she's finished college, but she decides not to go because she's so madly in love with Oliver. And also he's been cut off from his family for marrying her. So they get married and they decide to start a family, and when she can't conceive, she goes to the doctor. You know where this is going. She goes to the doctor. Not to spoil a movie that came out in 1970, but things are not good for Jenny. She's terminally ill.
Aww.
There's this whole subplot of Oliver finding out first and not telling her, and I'm like, that's a bit problematic, but we skate past it. And it's just their loves, and at the end, the whole point of the movie is that at the end of it, he's trying to he feels bad that he's like stolen her dream of going to Paris, and like he stole her life by marrying her and like all these things, and he's like trying to lie to his family to get money for her medical care. It's this whole thing, and she was like, I wouldn't change a thing. Like I would do it all again just to be with you. I've lost nothing. I've given up nothing. I haven't given up Paris, like having you as the main thing. There's also this iconic line from the movie that still gets quoted to this day, which is love means never having to say you're sorry.
Oh, it's from there.
That's where it's from there. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you talk about it, but basically he is apologizing to her for her not getting to live his dreams and supporting him, and now she's going to die. And she was like, love means never having to say you're sorry.
Oh, now I think that's now starting to...
Yeah, that's the sort of thing. It's one of those movies that gets quoted so much. It gets like parodied a lot. It gets brought up in pop culture. It's one of those things where like you're like, I don't know where that's from, but I know it's around. Yeah. And it gets said a lot. So it's from that movie. So that was like the ultimate death trope. And I know I just spoiled quite a bit of it, but like... Again, there's heaps more I haven't said. So I feel like everyone should watch it if you haven't, because especially if you love these types of movies, it is the blueprint for like a sad death trope romance movie.
It's like the original. And unfortunately with a lot of these movies, it's very cancer heavy because although my next one is not cancer heavy.
Oh, good. Good, because my other ones
but
are.
It's actually...
You can't get away from it.
But it's way worse.
Yeah. Oh, okay, Jesus.
My Girl.
Oh, yeah.
1991.
Yeah.
I was watching if you don't know this movie, honestly, I was watching this scene when I was doing the research. I'm literally welling up. I was watching a scene when she runs over to the casket.
Yeah.
And he can't
don't
see.
say it.
He can't see without his glasses. Where are his glasses?
That is...
Oh my God, Laurie, you're even tearing up.
I hate that movie. You know why? Because I'm also deathly allergic to bees. So I would be that kid.
Okay, so let's just like backtrack. We've kind of gone back, but that like iconic scene like is still to this day the most devastating scene.
Yeah.
I think has ever been
we
filmed.
would have watched. You watched as a kid, right? So
yes.
did I. And it's probably the first time we were properly exposed to a movie where the main character, who was our age, because he's a kid too, dies.
Yeah. Okay, so let's kind of backtrack slightly. Mm-hmm. Now, it's starring Anna Chomsky and Macaulay Culkin. Mm-hmm. So this is one of Anna's very, very first roles. And Macaulay Culkin, this is like right in the height of his Home Alone fame. So big stars, and we've got Jamie Lee Curtis in it, who we love, and Dan Aykroyd, who was such a staple in 80s and 90s cinema.
So good in this.
Dan Aykroyd plays a funeral home director. So Veda is basically around death quite a lot. So she sees it. She's kind of a quirky girl. Like the charm of it is that Veda is this kind of wise beyond her years, the commentary, the poetry. It's all very, very sweet. And she has this friendship with Thomas J, played by Macaulay Culkin. And he's a bit quirky. quieter, a bit shy, but they have this really beautiful friendship. And, you know, it's so innocent and sweet. And you wouldn't know the image of them kissing for the first time by the lake. It's just a really beautiful little like young love romance. And then the big scene at the end is he goes back to find her mood ring because she lost her mood ring.
Yeah.
And we all remember mood rings. This traumatized me from mood rings. He finds a beehive and he's allergic to bees and he gets stung and he dies. And I can't keep going from there. Anyway, My Girl 1991, traumatizing all millennials.
Yes.
Till the end of time.
And it holds up. I watched it again recently and it's just such a good slice of that iconic like Americana movie, happens over summer. You've got the like love story between Dan Aykroyd and Jamie Lee Curtis, which is beautiful. She's got a love story with her teacher. You would have related to that. I related to the bees. It's just a really My Girl 2, not great. Did you ever watch that?
No, I didn't.
But My Girl 1, a perfect movie.
It was a perfect movie.
Yes.
But yes, absolutely traumatizing for us millennials. Anna Chlumsky is just so fabulous in it.
Yeah.
And she's 11 years old.
Yeah, crazy. Vader, the best. Vader Sultanfuss. Is that the best like character name you've ever heard?
Vader's such a good name.
So good. Okay. I must confess I pitched today's podcast just so I could talk about this movie because I have it. It's one of my favorites. I think about it all the time. I listen to the soundtrack all the time, even though it came out over 20 years ago. And I haven't been able to shoehorn it into an episode until now. It is A Walk to Remember.
I'm so glad that you brought this one up because this was on my list too because it was such an iconic and early 2000s, 2002 it came out.
Yes.
And Mandy Moore's first role, first cinema role.
Yeah, and she's so good in it. So it's based on a Nicholas Sparks book. And yes, it came out in 2002. So if you're like us, that's peak like high school years where like this kind of a movie just destroyed you. So yes, it's Shane West, who the director was just flipping through a magazine, saw a picture of him and was like, this guy can do light and shade. And for anyone else, that's a terrible way to cast a lead in a movie. For Shane West, it was correct. He was great in that. And yes, Mandy Moore was already a huge star in singing, but apart from The Princess Diaries, hadn't acted before. And so she plays a high school student called Jamie, and she's meant to be this kind of very devout, her father's a reverend, she's very devout Catholic. She's meant to be kind of the mousy, shy girl at school that no one pays attention to. And I'm sure everyone's thinking, how could Mandy Moore be the shy, mousy girl? They dyed her hair brown. And she wears a lot of button-up cardigans and she has a fringe, which is traumatizing to me that was meant to make her a loser. And she walks around with her head down a lot.
There's a lot of I'm you can't say this if you're listening to us, but it's a lot of like these very like meek. I'm sort of I'm really sad. Looks. And Shane West plays the bad boy.
Yes, he plays Landon, the bad boy. What I love about the whole like making Mandy Moore, who was like a blonde pop star singer at the time, it was like Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, Mandy Moore. They were all the sexy blonde girls who did like the, you know, catchy pop songs. The director and costume designer have since said that they resisted the urge to put glasses on her because they just knew and they wanted to. Like those glasses, you could just feel like someone was holding them off screen, but they were like, no, it's too much of a trope. They're like, we've seen Not Another Teen Movie. And I was like, wait, did that come out before Walk to Remember? I guess it did.
It's very She's All That.
Yeah. And they were like, we don't want to do that thing where we put glasses on a beautiful girl and say she's a nerd. And then when she gets a makeover, she takes them off. So Landon is, a bit of a bad boy. And he and his friends get caught drinking. And then, like, there's this whole prank thing they do. And one of their friends gets injured. And so as punishment, and this is where this movie kind of almost becomes Step Up, because this is also, this top bit is the plot of Step Up, where his punishment is he gets sentenced to do, like, community school help stuff, and so he has to help out with the school play, which is very Step Up when Channing Tatum has to be a janitor at a school, then he gets put in the school dance recital. I love this line of punishment, meaning you have to be on stage.
Is this where she goes, you can't fall in love with me?
Yeah.
Great. Another trope that we see a lot in like rom-coms.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the classic, I mean, it gets done all the time, but it never gets old. The bad boy meets the shy good girl. And over the course of them putting on this school play, he starts to fall in love with her, even though she did say, don't fall in love with me. And one of the moments he falls in love with her, and this is one of my favorite moments in cinema, is that no one knows that she can sing because she's like the real quiet, shy girl at school. And everyone's like, she's nothing. But obviously she is Mandy Moore and she's got a great voice. So she comes out on stage and sings one of the greatest songs of all time, Only Hope. Just stunning, beautiful, no notes. I listen to that song all the time. She did the whole soundtrack, which is a huge thing for the movie. So Landon and Jamie fall in love, obviously, because she's got the voice of an angel, only for him to discover, because, of course, she has leukemia and she's not responding to treatment. And then he sets about helping her fulfill all these final wishes that she had. And the way they do it is like really, I don't know, this is just like 14-year-old me talking at the time. I was like, this is the most beautiful movie I've ever seen.
They get married.
Well, that was her dream because her mum passed away. It was her dream to get married in the same church as her mum and dad. It was her dream to get a tattoo. So he puts a little fake butterfly tattoo on her. It was her dream to be in 2 places at once. So he takes her to the state line. They stand with a leg on either side. Yeah.
I remember doing that in like between
New South Wales and Queensland. Yeah, that's a fun thing to do there. Yeah. That's just how we all thought was like, this is the most romantic thing ever. And just also the chemistry between Shane West and Mandy Moore is so good. They still email to this day. I love that for them. That was the first time she'd ever kissed a boy on screen as well. And just, their chemistry is so incredible. And things don't go well for the character of Jamie, but she dies really happy. There's no way to sugarcoat the ending. You guys know what's coming.
This episode is equal parts nostalgic and making me so depressed.
It's all ending with, can I just say one thing about the map that leads to you that I thought was very refreshing is that they just, without giving anything away, they allude to what's coming without delving into it. So you can go and watch that and experience the romance. Like, I quite like that because I was like, I don't know how much more I can watch one lover hold another lover as they die. Like, we've seen that so much. So at least that's kind of going away. But yeah, A Walk to Remember, if you haven't seen it, I mean, we haven't really spoiled it. There's so much more.
Yeah.
And also, you know what's coming.
Like,
it's a Nicholas Sparks book.
Again, these movies have come out a long time ago. These are just kind of like our favourites and the ones that are real tearjerkers for us. Like, no matter how many times you watch them, it is a tearjerker.
Exactly.
Now, Mon, our producer, also wanted to bring one to the table.
I did, because there's one movie that stands out to me as my favourite, by far, movie in this genre of all time. Maybe one of my favourite movies of all time.
Okay.
So to set the scene, Henry Golding in his peak, fresh off of Crazy Rich Asians, that whole boom. We have Emilia Clarke, the year that Game of Thrones wrapped. So 2 people in their prime. Mm-hmm. We have me going into the cinema and watching a beautiful movie in the best city in London at Christmas time, set to the soundtrack of George Michael's songs, Last Christmas.
Yes, I actually kind of liked this movie too.
Why do you sound ashamed?
I do, because it got, like, it was panned and everyone was like, that's such an obvious ending. Now, let's just think about this song. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart.
Yeah,
I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
The writing is on the wall of what's going to happen. No, the reason that we sound a bit surprised is that you wanted to bring this up as one of your, not just your favorite death trope romance movies, but one of your favorite romances. And there was no argument in the room because this is no one's favorite romance movie, just yours.
This is wild to me because I went in there, I was with my boyfriend at the time, we watched it, he was a real movie buff. I came out after and I was like, I mean, I don't know if the Oscars look at movies like this kind, but fantastic film, top-notch acting, like, who saw that coming? And he was like, no, this is an average Christmas film. But it's so beautiful.
I love it. You were like, guys, early contender for the Oscars. Oscars buzz is starting and I'm starting it here. So Emilia Clarke's character, just for anyone who doesn't know, is sort of down on her luck and she's trying to become a musician. She's working in a Christmas shop. She meets Henry Golding's character and I don't know, do you want to give away the plot twist? No one wants to watch this movie. You can.
I mean, it was 2019. They've had time. Essentially, she's talking to Henry Golding. You think they're falling in love, but it turns out he actually passed away in a car accident and he's a ghost of sorts, but she has had a heart transplant.
Yes.
I mean, ingenious plotline. She's had a heart transplant and that's why she's seeing him and talking to him. And there is this gorgeous line at the end of the film. I've actually written it down just to make sure I get it exactly right for the fans.
Okay.
Where he says, take care of my heart, which is after she realizes that he's a ghost. And she says, I promise. And he says, it was always going to be yours one way or another.
Oh, no. Okay, so the reason I actually did enjoy this movie, I wouldn't call it my favorite, but I didn't hate it as much as everybody else seemed to. The reason I liked it is because have you ever seen those videos where someone's had a heart transplant or something, and the people who have lost their child or partner will put like a stethoscope and listen to the heartbeat in the transplanted patient. Like that's why it got me, because that obviously is just still really emotional for a lot of families, and you see them bawling their eyes out because they can still see their loved one. They can still hear their loved one's heart beating.
It could be the brilliant scripting and acting that got you as well. Like, maybe not just that.
Can I just say, I don't hate this movie. I went to the cinema with an open mind to watch it, but I just think the build-up had been so intense. Because like you're saying, Henry Golding, harsh of you to say before at his prime, as if he's not now. Henry Golding, bit of a burn for Henry. Henry Golding, Emilia Clarke, everyone was so obsessed to see them a love story. Also directed by Paul Feig, who is the director who's done so many incredible movies like Bridesmaids. I interviewed him when he came to a story about this movie.
Me too.
And he's such a brilliant man. So like I didn't hate it. I just thought it was it just doesn't make my list of like top romance movies. I want them to be in another rom-com because they had good chemistry.
They had great chemistry.
But the dude's dead. And his heart beats within her. And every time they cut to the hospital scenes, I was like, I just don't know if this is what I wanted in a Christmas rom-com. Because everyone was calling this the new Love Actually.
Okay.
Well, we do complain about things being too samey.
Yeah.
He's not alive.
Yeah.
Not let you down.
Good plot twist.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know a lot of people were very like, that is so obvious, guys. Like, did you really need to do that? But I kind of like, I'm okay. I was okay with it. And for some reason, I still was shocked.
I just remember watching it being like, that dude is a ghost. Because he's skipping down the road. Yeah, because he started floating. No, he didn't. No, he's just like the way like no one else was acknowledging him when he was around. She only saw him at certain times. He never touched anything in the apartment. But when it got to the stage where, I know, I was like putting together the twist. But then at one stage I was like, please don't tell me that she has his heart. That's so not what I wanted in this moment. And then it became clear through like a montage with the heartbeat that she in fact had been the recipient of his heart. And I was like, I can't get around it. I can't get around it.
I just think it's beautiful. I remember at the time because
you're like, it's just literally my favorite movie ever.
No, well, Rolling Stones put out a thing about how it should have been this beautiful holiday rom-com, and then they called it a flaming tinsel disaster. And I've never felt so upset at Rolling Stones. I was like, how could they say, like, how have they seen something so different to what I've seen? But anyway.
So the opposite of Oscars buzz, but enjoyable nonetheless.
Maybe like a Razzie or something.
Yeah, I think it was nominated. But that's okay. You keep going with your movie recommendations.
No, that's okay. I'll leave it there, guys. I feel like I've said all that can be said about Last Christmas.
Oh, thank you, Mon. Okay, so if you need a good cry, those are our favourites. There's obviously lots more. Some involving like tuberculosis.
Yeah.
Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, a beautiful death trope story.